Thank you for joining me today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom. Now, I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you who Martin Luther King is, but I would be glad to parade through his life and tell you a little bit more about him. We will go through his early life, his dreams and his movements, what he changed, and his death. Forging ahead into the early life of Martin Luther King, growing up, both his father and grandfather were pastors at an African American Baptist church. This is where his strong religious beliefs came from. King then attended Crozer Theological Seminary and then graduated at Boston University. During his time at Boston, he became very aware of the vast inequality and injustice faced by Black Americans. King, at the age of 24, King then got married to Coretta Scott, a beautiful, young, and talented young woman. I said that twice. And then I got to move along. After getting married, King helped promote the Montgomery bus boycott along with the very well-known Rosa Parks. But what King wanted was much more than to drink from the same fountain, eat at the same restaurant, and work at the same place. His views for the future were much thicker. What he wanted was to be able to walk down the street without being antagonized and to have future generations to play together and share the same views of the world and eventually one day call each other as family. He wanted peace, he wanted equality. Follow me as we enter the March on Washington. What is greater known for is the I Have a Dream speech. Held on August 28, 1963, attended by some 200,000 to 300,000 participants of all races. What is also known as a watershed movement for the African American Civil Rights Act of 1964, which Congress passed. Later on in the year of 1965, in the spring of 1965, King joined another nonviolent committee to raise awareness for the right to vote, which fell underneath the 15th Amendment and still does to this day. With the help of President Lyndon B. Johnson, he helped them promote and go on a march with them from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery. As they took long strides, word got out, and Congress eventually passed the Voting Rights Act, which guaranteed the rights to vote. Fast forwarding a few years into the future, the year was 1968. King was in Selma, Alabama to raise awareness for another campaign for poor families and poor people of the United States. King was then slain on the balcony of a motel where he was staying at, along with where a soon protest would be taking place. King was killed by an upsettingly well-known racist and convict, James Earl Ray. James Earl Ray was found guilty and sentenced to 99 years in prison to later have his sentence shortened due to his death in prison. Rolling thunder into the conclusion of Dr. King's life, we talked about his early life, his dreams and his movements, what he changed, and his death. A question I constantly ask myself throughout the making of this speech is, where would we be today if he was around much longer or still here today as a nation? Darkness does not drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Thank you.